Welcome and thank you everyone for coming to watch the presentation of my EDOL signature assessment. Within this class, I was supposed to identify a problem within my classroom, then locate a strategy that I could incorporate to assist with that problem, and then look at the data. Then I was going to go back and tweak that modification and then look at the data again. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is my opening page. Here's my table of contents. We have our meeting agenda, the vision statement, the problem statement, the research article, implementation 1 and the data analysis, implementation 2 and the data analysis, and then my reflection and my next steps. The meeting agenda, it's going to take approximately 12 minutes of your time. I appreciate again for you coming. The vision statement, the problem statement, the research article, implementation 1, implementation 2, the reflection, and the next steps. My vision statement, I have high expectations for all my students and will go above and beyond to meet the needs of our diverse population of students, which will enable them to become college-ready and productive citizens. By implementing a student-centered structure that will help them develop daily habits of reading, writing, and working with peers. Students will be directed to become lifelong learners. I want to build dedicated individuals who will embrace learning for success. My problem statement. I have found that in my classroom, students are struggling how to effectively answer open-ended questions or extended questions. How many of you are having similar problems in your classroom? I thought so. Hopefully I wasn't the only one. But yes, they lack the focus of beginning to respond to an open-ended question. They don't understand how to get focused, where to start. Also, they don't remember to cite the evidence. If you notice up at the top, we have been implementing CUB and ACE, and I will go over what that means. But I want to figure out how, to help them to remember to cite evidence from the passage to support their answer. So I researched and I found this article, Putting Mnemonic Strategies to Work in an Inclusive Classroom. You should have received an article when you came in. If not, I will email this PowerPoint to everyone, and it has the link down at the bottom, as you can see, that you can click on it and you'll get the article. But if not, I have copies before you leave. Again, it's a strategy for promoting recall of academic content. It's a strategy for enhancing academic learning in classrooms. It enhances student learning and memory by connecting new information with prior knowledge by means of visual and acoustic cues. It's recommended for teachers whose curricula has overwhelming number of new concepts and complicated vocabulary. It's a complicated process when they have to start answering extended responses and open-ended questions. That several need direction and focus. I know it's not stated that they will score higher on the test if they can restate the question. But I have found that if they can restate the question and get focused, then more than likely they will answer it correctly, as opposed to just randomly starting. So I wanted to implement this strategy. My implementation 1, again, we're using CUB. I have the CUB there, and then I have the ACE with the ACE up here, the card. It's a tool, it's a mnemonic device. It's a tool to remember the procedures and the ideas expressed in text. The CUB is circle the verb, underline the number if there's a number. Sometimes there's not, and then box the rest. The box then leads them into the ACE. That's going to be their restate. They're going to answer. The C is to cite the evidence. That again will help them to remember that yes, they need to go back and pull something from the passage to support their answer. And then they will extend their answer, whether it be a text-to-text, a text-to-self, a text-to-world, or a text-to-media. They'll apply that to whatever their answer is, whatever the passage is. However, I found through exit slips that my students were struggling with remembering exactly after I had implemented, they were still struggling to remember the process of answering extended response questions. Here's my data. After 2 weeks of using the mnemonic device, I gave an extended response question. 67% are struggling with their responses. You can see that that is the red, the gray, and the yellow. That is 14 students out of 21. And only 33% have mastery. That is my green and my blue. That was 7 students out of 21. So I needed to go back and tweak the strategy and figure out how to best assist my students to master for learning. I gave exit slips to review the CUB and ACE mnemonic device. I modeled the mnemonic device while practicing extended response questions with them. Every Wednesday we would get an extended response question. I provided guided practice with small groups. So when our other regular instruction throughout the week would occur, I would sit down at my teacher table and we would work in small groups, again, working with short answer questions as well as extended response questions. While modeling, I advised the students to highlight or underline text to incorporate as their cited evidence. So we would read the question first, and then as we were going back to read the passage, we would notice, oh, that went with that question, so let's highlight or underline it. So I would also give them other test-taking strategies to help them answer the extended response questions. Here is my data. After 2 weeks of going back after the modification, of utilizing the exit slips for review, the mnemonic device, modeling the correct procedure of the CUB and ACE, I gave another extended response question. 12% increase in the number of students scoring 3s. So they just need practice. They just need good modeling, good techniques. 38% increased one performance level. Whether they went for, if you notice, I have no zeros now. The 0 has now moved up. So there's no red, my gray, and my yellow. I have 38% went up 1 performance level, 14% increased 2 performance levels. My 3s proficient level has doubled. It was a 5, now it's a 10. So I've doubled the people that are scoring 3s. So that was very pleasing. My reflection, my mnemonic device was effective, as you could see. My visual graphics supported the mnemonic device. So the CUB and the ACE, it was something, again, that was easily, you could incorporate any kind of graphic, but the CUB and the ACE was something that all of the students were familiar with. Worked well for students with or without disabilities and ELL students. Again, the article will support that it is good to include the mnemonic device in inclusive classrooms, so for your special ed, students with disabilities, the ELL, it's easy enough for them. It's, 3 letters, CUB and ACE. It's a simple mnemonic device. Not anything long. It needs to be short. Small group instruction would be beneficial. I was more than satisfied to see the number of proficient responses that doubled the second time by adjusting the implementation. I believe the mnemonic strategy can be an important element in the inclusive classroom. All of the students picked up on it very quickly. It was something very short, very easy, simple, and then the pictures also helped them to remember CUB and ACE. Repetition is the key to success. Practice and apply your mnemonic device often with your students. Like I said, every Wednesday we have an extended response, but also during our regular instruction throughout the week with short answers, we also continue to CUB and ACE the short answers. My next steps, I will provide more extensive modeling and incorporate more guided practice for specific students. For those that are not scoring the 3s yet, we will start to give them more extended, or I will give them more extended practice. I will reassess the exit slips to monitor the progress of the mnemonic device CUB and ACE. I will provide students with more opportunities to demonstrate their learning of how to effectively answer an extended response question. The mnemonic device, I don't want it to be so structured that it's just a format of an answer. I want them to be able to answer freely. I want them to give me their own answer. I don't want it to be like a format letter, or where it just sounds like everybody has the same answer. I I want them to be able to get started, but then still yet be able to answer as they would on their own, and then pull their own support, their own cited evidence. So as long as they're following, getting, focused and getting structured, I want them to be able to answer on their own. Encourage classroom teachers to have academic content to master, to incorporate the mnemonic device to use as a strategy within their classroom. Here are my references, again, putting mnemonic strategies to work in an inclusive classroom. I also pulled 50 instructional routines to develop content literacy. That's where I first noticed that I thought, well, we'll incorporate the mnemonic device. And then I did find this powerful article as I was researching that would support using mnemonic devices. And again, you have that article. You should have received that when you came in. If not, again, I will email this PowerPoint to everyone, and it does have the link in there. Thank you for taking the time to view my presentation today. I appreciate your patience and your attendance. If there are any comments or questions, we can take those now. Thank you.